Hey there everybody, Aaron here. Welcome to another episode of Gideon's Tactical. Today I'm really excited to check out this neck knife that we're about to look at. I've been looking at this blade for probably about a year now, and I finally purchased it over Christmas, and now it's almost the end of March, so I've had about 3 months of really good use. I've taken it out every single time I go on a trek. I've carried it around EDC around town, and I've really got my chance to be able to really put this knife through the ringer and really get a good feel for this neck knife. And we've reviewed a lot of neck knives here on the channel because I really do see a lot of value in owning a neck knife. They're lightweight, they're portable, and they're going to be a lot tougher obviously than a folding knife would be, and they're great to pair with either hatchets or larger wilderness blades. You can have your Tops Anaconda, be chopping down all your trees and batoning your wood, but it's not going to be fun to use that to make feather sticks and spread peanut butter on your sandwich at the campsite. It's not going to be fun to do that. Whereas a neck knife gives you that capability as well, and they're usually at a pretty reasonable price, including this one. So guys, we're looking at today the Tops knives designed by Brian Griffin, Tops Tibo. I don't really know how to pronounce that. I like Tibo. Think of like Tibo working out. Think of it that way. That's what I'm going to stick with throughout this video. I'm going to call it the Tops Tibo. It could be Tibo. I like Tim Tebow too. Not a bad fella. So anyway, with that being said, I'm really excited today to get this design out here and really show you guys how this baby performs and the pros and cons of this neck knife and whether or not this is really going to be a good neck knife purchase for you. So with that being said, let's get to using the Tops Tibo designed by Brian Griffin. All right, guys, let's go ahead and look at some of the basic specs here real quick for you on the Tops Tibo. What we have is an overall length from tip to the back of the handle of 6.5 inches. You're looking at a 2.5 inch actual cutting edge with a nice full flat grind there. You're going to get an 1/8 of an inch thick spine, so that's real nice. I'm very happy about that. I'm really looking forward to seeing this perform because the thinner the blade, the better it's going to be a slicer. It's just pure, physics and geometry. There's not a lot you can do about it. A big, thick blade's not going to slice very well. A nice thin blade will slice really well. Skeletonized, as you can see there, 1095 high carbon steel. Great stuff that Tops does with that black traction coating that we all know from Tops. And then you got a Kydex sheath as well. Weight is going to be right around 1.8, just the knife naked. And then you're looking at right around 3 ounces with the sheath. So very lightweight and very manageable knife. So very, very good overall specs. Now let's go ahead and keep using this blade. All right, guys, let's go ahead and look at the sheath here on this knife. Now, it is a Kydex sheath, taco design. Got a few lashing points. Comes with this ball and chain design for a neck, lanyard. And the downside for me is I usually love Kydex, but this is really the only way that I have found that really works for this sheath to work with this knife and be deployed, because there is no thumb ramp. All they needed to do was mold this Kydex up just a little bit so you could get a little thumb push off. Then you could carry it without having to have it around your neck or have like a paracord to tug on it, because there is none, and you really have to yank to get that thing out. And that's a real downside to me, because I basically am going to have to put some form of paracord or something around here, because I don't usually wear neck knives as neck knives. I mean, I know a lot of you guys do, but you know, I usually have them in a little kit, or I'll attach them, you know, to a chest rig or a belt, or, you know, something like that. I don't like them swinging around on my neck. That's just who I am. And I usually, you know, I'm looking for some sort of thumb ramp to pull off and pull the knife out. So I'm gonna have to tug. You gotta tug hard to pull that knife out. So I mean, it's really nice and snug in there. No rattle. I mean, it's not going anywhere. It's not going to fall out by accident, but you basically have to have something that you can hold on to pull. So that's a real big downside to me. I'm going to have to give the carry options and the sheath on this a 3 out of 5. I really would have liked to give it a little bit higher rating, but that just is kind of a downside for me. I'm eventually going to have to do you know, a custom kydex sheath for this and make sure that it does have a thumb ramp so that I can just push off and I don't have to really do a hard, you know, yank each time that I need to remove my knife and, you know, hold it and pull. I just don't like that feature. So that's me, guys. 3 out of 5 for the carry option rating on the sheath for this knife.
Okay, let's do some EDC testing.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and I'll give you the value rating here real quick on this knife. You're going to pay right around $48 for that. That's right around the same price as the SE Azula. I know that's the competitor to this knife, basically. They got similar steels and, you know, similar sheaths, and just have a lot of similarities. There are definitely some differences too, but you're going to pay right around, like I said, you know, 45 to 50 bucks. And I think for that price point, you're getting a US made 1095 steel neck knife. And that's what most knives in that category with that type of steel made here in the US are going for. So I think that's a very good value. 5 out of 5, no issues whatsoever. And, you know, a good pocket knife for around 50 bucks is going to be right around that same size that has, you know, a decent steel. So very pleased with that value rating, 5 out of 5 for this Tops Tibo. All right, guys, I want to talk real briefly here about the ergonomics and give you the ergonomic rating on this knife. Now, all knives that I review here at the channel that are skeletonized like this and do not offer handle scales, and the only option you really have is either paracord or like the Gerber Ghost Strike that we've done where they had a kind of rubber overlay. I'm usually going to give those a 3 out of 5, and there's no difference with this knife. I'm going to give the ergonomic rating of 3 out of 5 because there aren't any handle scale options right now. I really hope that in the future, Tops does offer handle scales. This is my official request to Tops. Tops, please give us handle scales that we can purchase aftermarket for this knife. G10, micarta, whatever. I know I would buy them, and I know a lot of people out there would buy them, and I know that that would really step up the ergonomic just ability and the handle grip on this knife. As it is for a skeletonized neck knife, it's really good. You're going to get a very long handle and a pretty wide handle, so that's really good. It's going to fill out your hand really well. You're going to get a very good grip onto the knife. You can see there I wear large size gloves. There's plenty of room for me to spare on the back end there. When I do a reverse grip as well. See, it's just got a really good grip, very good lockup in the hand, and just really feels good in your hand when you are doing your carving and whittling tasks, when you're doing EDC, you know, rope cutting and cardboard cutting. Just feels very good in the hand. The only thing to note is the jimping right here is pretty aggressive. Now, Mrs. Gideon's Tactical did not complain about it with all of her use. I noticed it. Maybe I'm just a wuss and she's the man of the family. I don't know. But it is going to be slightly aggressive, guys, with the jimping right here. I usually wear gloves. But if you are going to use this as your daily EDC knife, you may realize that it starts to become really aggressive and bite in, particularly if you're doing harder tasks. You're having to put some real good leverage and pressure on the knife. So you may want to file that down slightly. That would kind of be my only complaint with the overall ergonomic design, is that the jimping is pretty aggressive there. Then finally, I'm not going to do a comparison in this video of the Essie Azula versus the Tops Tibo. I'm not going to do that in this video because I shot it a bunch of times, so it ended up being about a 10-minute video, and I don't want to make this review 25 minutes long. So as soon as I post this video that you're watching, I will also, within probably 30 minutes or an hour, have the comparison video of the Essie Azula and Tops Tibo, and I'll really go into a lot of detail, talk a lot about the two knives, show you pros and cons of each so that you can make a really good purchasing decision. Again, in this video, I'm not going to even touch it because it could really drag this video out. So be looking for that. As soon as that one goes live, I'll put a link in the description below of this video, or just stay tuned, check back a little later in the day, and you'll see the full comparison on the Tops Tibo and the Essie Azula. So there you go, guys. Not only with the ergonomic rating on this knife, very solid for just a skeletonized blade. Really no complaints except for the aggressive jimping. And let's go ahead and keep on moving on with this review. All right, guys, got to give you the quality rating here real fast on this knife. If you've ever owned a Tops knife, you know you're going to have fantastic quality. So the quality rating is 5 out of 5. Very, very good. Fit and finish was awesome. Great quality steel, great heat treat. The coating is holding up very well, very tough, very durable, and just a very, very high quality item when you're purchasing any sort of Tops knife, and that's no exception with this Tops Tibo. Well, guys, you've seen this little neck knife in action, and I got to give you my final rating for you on this knife as we wrap up this video, whether or not I like this knife, my likability scale on this blade. I got to tell you, I love this knife. This is a great design knife with a skeletonized format and then kind of a skeletonized philosophy. I'm really, really glad for the 1/8 of an inch thick. That's a huge deal to me. I want to see more neck knives that are at that thickness because it really does outperform a lot of other knives out there on the market. Even the Essie Azula, when it does come to man-made materials, it's going to outperform it when it does come to cutting cardboard and even food prep. It's also going to outperform the Essie Azula as well as other neck knives that we reviewed, and it's just physics, guys. The thinner the blade, the faster it's going to go through material, hands down. And the ergonomics are really set up to be very comfortable. I like how it's kind of got that more aggressive sweep and drop in the clip, or not clip, but the tip of the blade. I like that, so it's got a little bit more of a stabbing capability if I needed to. So just a very, very, very well designed blade. Brian Griffin, good job, buddy. Very well designed little neck knife. And guys, I would recommend it to you. Likability 5 out of 5. Absolutely a phenomenal little neck knife. And I really enjoyed purchasing this. It was absolutely worth the $44 I dropped on it. So if you've been thinking about it and you're cool with not having handle scales right now, again, Tops, please handle scales this year. Please, please, please. But if you're cool with not having handle scales as of this point, and you like having a paracord wrapped handle, this thing is really set up to basically outperform a lot of other neck knives on the market, guys. So thanks as always for checking out the channel. It's because of you guys that I come out here and do these videos, and I really hope that this particular video has kind of shown you, the pros and cons of the Tops Tibo versus other knives out there on the market of similar size and dimensions. And please comment, subscribe, like, share the video. Love to hear your guys' thoughts on the Tops Tibo. And as always, remember to stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.